God. Are you trying to put us to sleep? Game 2, I hope, is very different here as, again, views out, SOFM back in jungle, on back in support, the core roster as we know it here for 2021 Summer. Soon going to start banning away some of the picks we saw them on, especially the Renekton here, but double 80 carry ban while RNG. Look towards the setup, and remember, you and I did talk about the Nocturne before going to break. Curious if it's going to be left open as Camille instead targeting Vid.
Yeah, the things you look at, right, that Nocturne being left open, the set as well still being there. This was the pick that Suning didn't let through in Game 1. This time around, they banned the Renekton. In Game 1, they banned the Xin Zhao. Probably not something that View is comfortable in playing. SOFM has played this champion even before it was meta, pulled it out in spring playoffs, so you know it's something he's quite proficient on. Will also give him a lot of agency to make plays in the early game. It's something I hope we see, as we highlighted in our intro segment of the day, that he's not someone who interacts with his laners all too much.
Well, the Lee Sin coming through, another standard here from RNG. You did talk about the SOFM RPG. I like that you bring it up again, honestly. Excited to watch him in action back here on the Xin Zhao, but Nocturne, something that's just left open and available. Again, the meta may be fun, but it is also very predictable with what RNG want to do next.
And if RNG do decide to lock this in, you already know where their soul laners are going, because Krine has not shown an ability to play Lee Sin. Xiaohu has picked it up all 5 times that RNG have played it. Yep. So I expect this to be the soul laners coming out for the side of RNG. The flex pick towards jungle of either one of these champions is definitely always possible. Wei hasn't played either, but you would expect, as you know, a long-time jungler, he would be able to play either one. For Suning, we get the Gwen coming out in the top lane, probably a Karma for Angel in the mid lane, because when you see a Xin Zhao on the board, that is typically where it's slotted, having that strong mid-jungle synergy, trying to enable your Xin Zhao to fight for those Scuttle Crabs, look for invades into the enemy jungle, but we can never put it past On to bring that one down there. So probably all 3 of our top side locked in for both teams.
Yeah, absolutely, especially since it's obvious with Krine going back on the Nocturne. You already said Xiaohu's been the only one to play Lee Sin, so we'll assume that for now. And we're going to look at bottom lane, because for RNG already starting to ban away the LeBlanc, let's look at what's available in the bottom lane. I mean, RNG like, no, we think that's going to be a support. But Suning are right on track for getting rid of some of the big meta 80 carries. And again, Lyric, in game 1, it was the Kai'Sa ban that Gala loves. I wouldn't be too surprised with this comp if Kai'Sa is something else Suning must ban away.
Yeah, I mean, it's his go-to comfort pick. It slots into the rest of the comp well in terms of the dive factor coming out. I think for RNG, you're really hoping for something in the bottom lane that can give you prio, because we know if Diana does go up against Karma, you're going to get pushed in early. Lee Sin will lose out level 1 to the Gwen, so you're going to need somewhere where Wei can safely path towards to not get invaded, be able to take a Scuttle Crab and things along those lines. So
good choice.
With that taken away, we still don't have too much open in terms of 80 carries, right? You still have the Kalista available. You can just go towards the support here if you wanted to bring out something like the Thresh, which they do lock in. So wanting to take this to open up options in 80 carry role, we know also that the usual 80 carries that are paired with Thresh are also decently good at pushing the wave, Jinx with her rockets or Aphelios, you know, with different combinations of his guns.
Now we get to find out, though, is, hey, man, you were spot on. Well done. Karma mid. Going to lock in exactly where you thought. And Aphelios, you mentioned, there you go for Gala. This will be Gala's first Aphelios game as well. So he's played a hell of a lot of 80 carries this split, now moving the total up to 9. Lyric, walk me through. Let's start with Suning. Tell me a little bit more about this comp, because there is a lot more around the Jinx this time, and it feels like Suning's comp is it just has a simpler win condition.
Definitely. Starting from early on, right, I think you have more early lane prios in the side of RNG. Gwen should do fairly well from that level 1 point against the Lee Sin. You have Karma up against the Nocturne, so you should be working to enable your Xin Zhao early on. He's going to be your strong point, looking for those early skirmishes. Would love to see an early invade come out, especially and punish Diana's weak early game phase. And then for bottom lanes, they're both kind of just going to farm, right? You have a Jinx versus an Aphelios. When we get later into the game, I think Suning's team fight prowess is quite good if they can get pretty good positioning, right? You have the Tahm Kench to save the Jinx from all the dive. You have the shields coming out. You have Disengage coming out with Xin Zhao ulti being able to knock certain people back and him being the peel for the Jinx. So Suning's comp, I think, is very straightforward. For the side of RNG, we do have that typical dive comp coming in with Aphelios trying to position safely on the back line. We have seen you don't need to be safe. People like Jackie Love has shown us you always can walk forward and look to get that damage down. Take lanterns when you possibly shouldn't.
Yep.
So definitely a big stylistic clash. I feel like Suning's comp does quite well into what RNG has picked up. But in terms of execution, I feel like you still have to favor a team like RNG to be able to get ahead and take this one. So I would love to see if Suning's roster can bring it together with a draft like this coming out. Angel has always been very comfortable on these types of Enchanter mid lane champions.
I want to point out as well, if we're looking at Gala, definitely going to be the person to walk forward as we get into this one. Grasp Karma mid lyric. I know that's what's got your attention. And as we get into Summoner's Rift for game number 2, we all put our hands together. We have a bit of a prage, and we hope that Suning can do better this time around, especially with SOFM and On back on the Rift in the proper positions. Now, are you ready to talk to me about Angel's Karma choice here in what we actually saw quite a lot in the top lane when we had top lane Bruiser Karma?
Yeah, so this is a bit different because you do see this rune in certain instances, especially when you do have these like melee mids coming out. Still, typically in the LPL, we have seen the Airy be the rune of choice. You don't actually build too differently from what I've seen of other regions that have picked up Grasp of the Undying. You still go for that full supportive build. I have seen some people pick up the Moonstone or Newer sometimes when they go this route. I'm not quite sure the distinction of why you would go that instead, but I still would expect the Shurelius coming out for Suning in terms of how they want to play out with their composition. This is just going to give him, I think, a bit of a safer and easier laning phase. You do have a lot more durability just with the resolve tree in general.
Yeah, okay. Well, I think as well, I just like when we see a pick that can be quite straightforward mid with a change-up, especially. Starting in this early laning phase already, get some good procs off, I can imagine, while but it's Tahm Kench level 1. Ming in a bit of trouble. There's the exhaust. The flash away with Tongue Lash. How many times in LPL have we seen a Tahm Kench at level 1 just run into 2 units?
Yeah, you never see enemy bot lanes like learn or be surprised that this happens, right? They're still always forced out. And this was supposed to be the lane where RNG can hope for prio, right? Because you look at mid, you look at top, it's what we hit on in draft. You're not going to have any place to really safely play towards as way early on. You're going to get pushed in all 3 lanes. Crying, as we can see, already getting completely abused by Angel. It is pretty standard. Sure, maybe you can spell shield 1 Q, but Karma Q definitely on a lower cooldown than the spell shield coming out from Nocturne.
Nice start from the bottom lane. When On comes back, it is like, you know, don't you ever replace me for SOFM again. I'm sure there was a conversation, but, you know, On hasn't been that bad. He's definitely been, you know, not too bad to start off the split, I'd say. So good to see the bottom lane.
I think his individual play definitely stepped up, right?
Oh,
Even
yeah,
if maybe his performance around the map and like there's certain areas that are still like pretty bad and still lower tier in terms of support in the LPL, his like individual play, he's had some standout games for sure this split where he didn't have any at all last split.
Yeah, and I think that's good because the development of this player is crucial for Suning getting their pieces back together. Remember, 2 and 4 here in the split. RNG 1 and 4 themselves, but RNG took away game 1 as easy as you'd expect from the MSI winners when in form. RNG right now, you already talked about each wave pushing in, and the priority that Suning have means that SOFM gets 1 scuttle. I like this. He has the potential of another. Wei hasn't picked it up just yet, and I'm not sure if he's spotted on that ward, but should be fast tracking it for now, and SOFM might think it's just a scuttle for scuttle trade.
Yeah, I think Wei smart to not go for that because he doesn't know if SOFM did go there. If he runs into him, just look at the state of the mid lane matchup right now. Bin could have saved, Bin could have TP'd in. There could have been a lot of different scenarios where you could have just lost out. So making his way towards the bottom half of the map. No camps are going to be upright because of the delayed respawn timers that we had earlier in the split, but he also doesn't really have any windows. Sure, Ming is moving with you. Maybe if On overextends, you can try and find a hook and he could be punished. But nope, that is not what's going to happen.
But the flash as well, right? So if you want to make an ambitious play, On even has his own flash, so nothing happens in the end. And Gala just farming while his support moves, picking up some well-needed experience. So he hits level 4 first in this bottom lane. And looking across, CS differences, of course, for Suning bar the bottom lane. Even in the jungle, the Xin Zhao's come out. He's going to find that there is a Scuttle Crab up towards the top side. So double Scuttle in the end of the day. This will be a 10 CS lead for SOFM as well. Good to have him back in the jungle when this Xin Zhao has been a favorite pick of his lyric. You did talk about the win conditions already before, but just seeing the early game come through from Suning is already a nicer touch.
And we're already starting to see some of their plan kind of be put into place because I want to see SOFM really utilize his lane prowess, look for invades, and we're seeing step one of that where wards are starting to come out in the enemy jungle for the side of Suning. We saw Angel just go in and get a ward on Raptors. Bin went up, got a ward around Krugs. They know that those Raptors are going to be up soon, and there is the counter jungling that we wanted to see.
Straight away sets himself up. Crying's here. How far is he to 6, folks? Looks like about 2/3 of the way already there. Way a level down. Remember, Diana without 6, not a chance in the world. Angel, he'll have an extra point in this 6 as well as Xiaohu's coming down. Damage done to Cryan as Wei re-engages Ming as well. Forces Flash over the wall. Ming doesn't have his own. Disengages from the tether from Angel, but the AoE is too much to deal with. And over the Raptors, I believe in the end, Wei actually got the big one. So RNG will back away.
That's what I think happened as well. I didn't exactly see, but I figured it was Wei just with where SOFM was positioned. But RNG able to get the Raptors and force out a flash. Overall win. They should know, looking at the composition as well, that Suning is going to be wanting to look to extensively counter jungle and try to bully out Wei. So if Ming can unlock himself from lane, that'll be good. And when you're up against the Jinx Tahm Kench, right, there's really no all-in threat. You can just sit back near your turret and wait for the wave to crash into you. So Ming should always be able to just force his own opportunities to be able to influence the map.
Especially when he gets his tier 2 boots as well. Dragon going to be done though because Huanfeng and On do have lane priority once again. The first Dragon of the game at 6 minutes 30. Goes over to Suning here. That means we have a Cloud or an Ocean Soul coming up. RNG trying to play coy in this rush, but all it means is they're going to pop out and start clearing the wave again. No kills in 7 minutes, Lyric. Feels weird. Good death sentence, but there you go. Snon spits him out.
Luckily, though, we're about to hit that level 6 mark. Cryan already got his way close as well. Xiaohu having the kick available now, and that's where for RNG they can start looking for some skirmishes, right? Bring Diana towards the mid lane, try to find that all-in on Angel, force a flash or find a kill, look for a kill up towards the top side as well. I definitely think it's more of a solo game-oriented route for RNG, just from the fact that you do have that Tahm Kench down in the bottom lane, so unless you can stack a wave and look for a dive, there really won't be any opportunities there, and I don't think RNG should be able to. Jinx with the rockets should always have a decent time at thinning out the wave.
Well, we'll just keep watching the laning stage play out here, Lyric. Talk more about conditions coming through as we see something happen. And as everything stabilizes, Diana now hits level 6, or about to, I should say, from Wei, who's in his bottom side jungle. And while we're in this bit of a lull, I want to point out, just so everyone understands, today has been a bit of a longer day for us all, for you guys as well. Remember that all matches are in Shanghai, so we've had absolutely no delays right now. This match also live for the time being. But that is because every team in Shanghai, remember that RNG no longer in Beijing, V5 are not playing in Shenzhen, Top eSports and EDG don't have their own arenas either, so yeah, we've had a day of full live, all in Shanghai, and that means we get interviews as well. It's kind of nice, you know, for an occasion, and for such a big day as this, having everyone play in Shanghai and no one missing out, no delays whatsoever, has just kind of been the cherry on the cake.
You know, didn't EDG put out their, yeah, they announced their arena though, right?
Oh, it is coming.
They announced the project, yeah. That's, I think it's supposed to be the biggest one. I know they even released the plans for it, so it did look really cool. You know, if anyone wants to check that out, I'm sure you can just pop that in the old Google, but EDG on their way to having their own arena at some point within the next few years, so that will be really cool. They do have like a little base right now that's set up in the shopping center, and they have their own little cafe, so
yeah,
it was really cool to go visit. We actually lived right next to it.
We did.
Yeah.
We lived very close to it because it was very, very close to the studio in Shanghai. It's cool. Nice cafe is really good, and of course we're not, you know, endorsing someone's cafe, but we are in the same vein endorsing someone's cafe. It's very nice. SOFM coming top. Maybe some action here, Lyric. We're all hoping. Ben's going to be walking in, Wei and Xiaohu into the brush. Little bit sus as they come on out, but SOFM doesn't react to it. He just gets hit down. Moonfall as well damaged. Ben now going to try and 1v2. The Howling Mist doing a great job, but they're both melee. Somehow Gwent got it. What the heck is this champion?
I mean, it's one of those things where I actually prefer what Suning have in the straight-up 2v2. I feel like they have a lot of durability and a lot of sustained damage, but looks like SOFM just didn't expect it, got bursted down. We saw the strength of Gwen in the end, and she's going to be able to consistently win out in those 1v1s the longer the game goes on, especially once we get closer to that rift.
Great hook, box play onto On. Exhausted out is Gala. That's going to reduce the damage, and maybe keep this Tahm Kench alive as Huanfeng hit once again. RNG's bottom lane start to put on the pressure here, Lyric. Now that they've hit level 6, a lot more burst, a lot more potential to kill one of these members.
Yeah, and even now, them having to back off, we even saw Gala hit on with the Gravitum, so if they stick around, he's going to be able to be locked down, CC'd, maybe Ming can find another death sentence, and he's just gone. So now going to lose another wave. It's one of those things too, right, where it's nothing to do with jungle influence, jungle intervention. It's just in the outright 2v2, RNG's bottom lane has been superior all series long.
Yeah, very true. But topside Bin, after the gank, after the kill, after winning 1v2, after SOFM got destroyed down, he's able to push out and get close to the turret plate, but more importantly, set up the Rift Herald here for SOFM in game number 2. And give him some more priority in these lanes that are already winning out. Lyric, what do you do with the Herald? And okay, forget it. What do you do when you see Gwen 1v2?
First of all, we're going to see SOFM just not really expect the burst to come out. Even there, though, Wei looking like he has to commit the flash for that play. And then, I mean, right, you get all the resistances coming out from your Hollowed Mist. You're healing when you're hitting enemy champions. AoE damage from both your abilities. Wei really having nothing to even safeguard him from a play like that when he doesn't have his flash. So he full on committed. Eden flashed in. There was nowhere for him to go, and it allowed Bin to get 1 kill. It feels like, for me, that actually might even be more of the win condition than Jinx in this composition, just from the fact of RNG's bottom lane winning out. And we know how insane Gwen is, and how she can absolutely take over a game if left unchecked. She's a monster in side lanes. She's a monster in team fights. Like, this champion can pretty much do it all, other than lock someone down. Can't do that thing.
But that'd be a little bit too much. But on that as well, I mean, we've got versatile builds for the champion, right? I think it was Zoom who played it recently where we saw the Nash's Tooth. Great for dueling, great against some of these bruises as well, get that on-hit damage, so...
I'll be honest, Hysterics.
What?
Not a big fan of the Nashor's Tooth myself.
Oh, no.
I feel like the CDR you get from what's the item called, Hysterics? What's it called?
Cosmic Drive or Zonya's Hourglass?
There we go. The CDR, the ability haste build with Cosmic Drive, the team fighting it gives you, just being able to Q as often as possible, getting like the health you get. Obviously, Zonya's a big part as well. It's just such a massive part of your kit. I can understand why some junglers have gone for it in terms of like trying to help you clear, but I don't think Gwen jungle's all that strong either. But like you said, we are getting build diversity, and that in itself is cool.
That's always cool. I mean, a lot of times in the LPL, people like SOFM, you'll get build diversity from. This game pretty standard stuff. Suning are trying to set up for the Dragon here. It's the second Dragon. It's Mountain. They've already got the first. Obviously want the objective control. And SOFM walking down while Angel's already got the push through mid. Herald's dropped as well by Suning, so just adds another point of contest that RNG have to deal with.
Yeah, RNG, I mean, RNG have had losing lanes in all 3 lanes early on. It's finally shifted in the bot lane to where Thresh and Felix are able to contest once, flashes came back up and they can play more aggressively. But you've had these prios to utilize all game long as Suning, but you still haven't really been able to capitalize into turning it into anything. They're finally going to pick up their second Dragon of the game. We haven't seen them really try to bully out the enemy team too much in the jungle. Maybe just trying to bank on that scaling they have with the Karma and Jinx later on, not wanting to be too prone to risks.
Now RNG are like, okay, let's fight double TP. Dragon resets for the time being as well. Xiaohu at full HP and ready to go. Sonic Wave doesn't connect, or rather does onto SOFM. And Dragon's taken down. Now on top of Xiaohu, there's the Inspire from Mantra. Xiaohu kicks away Bin, but into the backline. RNG have been dove here until Crine sets himself up as well, but Bin is just doing so much damage. Gala frontlining, and Crine next on the menu. I mean, Lyric, RNG just wanted to have a way with him.
I mean, the thing is, right, you don't even have a true frontline as RNG's comp. You're looking more for picks or like weird angles to find engages, right? Xiaohu coming off on a flank, hitting some kicks on the Lee Sin like we saw from Knight earlier in the day to set up onto someone like Huan Feng. When you're taking skirmishes and fights like that where Angel is able to just put the Mantra Shield on top of everyone, we saw Bin zoning off multiple members, dropping down the W, they're not able to walk in, and then you're just playing this range battle of damage. Suning are going to win out. We're going to see here RNG standing in front, Suning being the ones to look for the engage, being the aggressors, and Bin zoning off 2 members on the side. A bit unfortunate from Crine, just walks right into the trap. Goes in the end, but Tahm Kench completely shutting down that play. And then all the damage from the needlework on Gwen. There it is, another Mantra Shield coming out so you can run forward. Everyone's safe. Suning's comp, I think, is a little bit overwhelming for RNG, like we hit on a little bit earlier in draft. You need to be more creative as RNG to outplay it, or you need mistakes to come out from the side of Suning.
Yeah, you really do. And I mean, I think for the time being, we now have a very different state of game. It's first item across the board here for Suning. I'm not sure about On here in this game as Wei's invading, but it is a 2-level disadvantage that Bin has over him. Ming starting to roam as well, but RNG down 2,000 gold here at 15-minute mark. 2 dragons as well after the play. Suning having a much more stable game, and folks, I know it's only 5 kills in 15 minutes, but so far, I mean, Suning have played a little bit better, and Lyric, they might not have found the advantage throughout the individual laning phase itself, but in the fight, that's all you need when you have a Karma, you have a Jinx, and you have stability with like Ming walking into you. Down he goes. Suning looking for another one onto Wei. The Diana has flash, but Moonfall needs to come through, or one or the other, onto SOFM. Gala trying to poke him down. And now as Gala has to flash away as well, Moonlight Vigil to come through. He's got 2 targets. TP into the backline. RNG want this. It's Crying with the ulti. SOFM goes in because he can't get out. And RNG get one as a response, Lyric. Very messy second game.
You know, the thing is, you know how you know it's doomed for RNG? When you're losing out on all 3 sides of the map. Sure, you got to kill back in top, as we'll see if Huanfeng goes. Huanfeng's not going down. Xiaohu actually needs to be afraid of going down, but sure, RNG gets an answer kill in top lane, but Suning got a kill in top lane. Suning got 2 turrets down in bot side, and they were pushing in mid consistently. So Suning winning out in all 3 lanes in that past minute and a half sequence.
Well, that's not too bad then. I mean, look at the goal. Look at the goal at the top of your screen, even after the play. I mean, it is surprising, right? After everything's said and done, and you know, we're at a point where the game has gone smoothly for Suning. We're looking at a game 2 that's just so far in their advantage, and trying to clear out deep vision for RNG bites Ming in the butt.
And we're going to see him here looking for the over chase. Tried to hit with a Jinx Rocket, sadly isn't able to keep that one down. Then we're going to see the Paranoia popped by Crying, going to TP in afterwards. With how low Xin Zhao is, especially after that Moonlight Vigil, very easily able to finish him off.
As we come back to live, right, what do you want to see next, Lyric? How do you push this as Suning, or is it just about keeping the momentum going, keep damaging away these turrets, SOFM getting the neutral now? Is there anything you really have to do as Suning, or do you just keep the pace nice and steady?
I mean, the fact that you're able to pick up 2 dragons early on, right? You're going to be hitting Soul, like, decently soon. You're going to be able to have the Trip Herald as well. We know their next objective is going to be top turret. That one could be delayed by the fact that Dragon's up in a minute for Suning just making their way towards bot side, getting vision, picking that one up. Then you reallocate your resources back towards top side, push out mid and top, get wards in the enemy jungle, zone Crying off turret. Bam, easy, you get top turret, you just keep pushing forward. I feel like this game is going to be very stock standard for Suning going forward. It's RNG who needs to find a way to make a play, and the only way I can see in my mind is Xiaohu finding some insane kick onto Huanfeng into like a Moonfall coming out from Wei and Crying being able to follow up. But then you still have Gwen to deal with. And we know that that is not an easy feat. It will be winnable, I think, at that point if you can find a pick like that.
As they're all winning on top of the Gwen, the flash away immediately. Needlework gives some healing. Moonfall as well. They need to kill him. Bin almost taking a snip out of Crying and Wei, but the kill will go down in Lyric. Another thing we talk about, the pick potential, definitely there, and RNG starting to get the flow going again.
Yeah, RNG always going to be one of the teams that actually utilize side lane plays. There's so many games where we talk about, yeah, this team right now wants to look for picks and sides. They have like this global or this tool, and then you really don't see teams in LPL do it, preferring to try and get tempo earlier for a Drake, or even teams that are losing maybe preferring to like steal camps or things along those lines. But nice to see RNG actually come out with this play. This was something we saw a ton of at MSI. They know they can't contest the Drake, but at least going to even that gold lead out a little bit.
I was going to say it's a gold play, right? Where you're like, okay, next fight we have to fight Suning around this dragon, but even then, it's a Cloud Soul. You're not too worried as RNG caught out. It's just Crying though. Wei already went back. They know he's in there. They know. And Bin's played with the wave. Wait. Oh my god. They don't know. Oh my god, no. Karma hit, but remember, it's not support Karma, so you don't get the gold value out of the shard. So you're thinking, it just hit max range instead. Oh no.
Well, now we're going to see RNG just trying to get spotlight turret. Suning are all collapsing though, so Xiao does have to be careful.
All right, kick comes through. Sonic Wave is there, not going to follow through. Now in a bit of trouble. Angel's already been kicked back, trying to kill the Karma, but he's going to heal up. The shield there as well. Bin joining in. And Xiaohu, he's just been ganked by everyone. Even On shows up. to join the party.
On just being there for the moral support. Doesn't matter if you make that play right. Baron might be up, but RNG having no hopes of looking for any kind of cheeky Baron as we're going to get a replay. And yeah, not being revealed. They don't know he's there.
The other thing is, wouldn't you get Grasp as well from Angel? I feel like
no.
you would. You would
From Q, no way.
From RQ, okay. I thought you get yourself a stack. Anyway. Just a lot of questions, Lyric. Just a lot of questions. The fact that he got away was huge. Let's not forget that Xiaohu did die in real time as well. This is just a game where Suning, might have lost a little bit of the gold, but Suning still hold an advantage here in this game. They've still got 2 items on 3 people now. Bin may die and give over the bounty, but that's still a Nash's Tooth on the Gwen. Renan's Hurricane as well, and a Keptek Future Fire. So, okay. Well, 2 items strong, and I hope we see a fight, Lyric. I'm going to be honest, dude. I'm standing here and I'm like, you know that meme where it's like, hey, mum, can we get Suning? And she's like, we have Suning at home. And then Suning at home is this. It's like watching this series. In comparison to Top Esports EDG, I feel like this is a struggle, Lyric. I don't know about you.
I do want to be fair. I actually want to see something different from you. I don't want to see fights. What I want to see is RNG win games like they did at MSI. Go for like crazy backdoor plays where you have to ignore fights completely. You have like certain people trying to distract Suning, but hey, we're getting what you want.
Ming's flashing. Fights. Dark Passage. I ask it. Apparently shall receive. Wade gets into the background. Look at this. The access from RNG. Angel will give the shield up, but Gala still untouched. Gravitum as well. A Flay that's gorgeous. Ming is just so good if he has a hook in his hand.
We said the only way that RNG win fights is if they find a flank or an angle that gets them onto Huanfeng. There realistically shouldn't be one with how Suning's composition plays out, but like you said, Ming and RNG outplaying that so well. They're going to be able to get on Baron, and now it's all up to Bin. You have a 3v5, it's Gwen and 2 supports.
But another hook comes through from Xiaohu. The Flay's in the middle of the Hallowing Mist, but RNG turn their attention onto On. Gala getting snipped away, someone has to help him. He flashes away, but Bin is still relatively untouched until everyone turns in the end. But Needlework, oh my god! This champion, Bin, makes it look even more broken.
Bin making Mr. 200 years like shut up because Gwen absolutely outdoing anything Aphelios can hope to do. That was just disgusting. Like, I don't know what we just watched on our screens, but that Gwen damage is something else. He had 2 supports right alongside him, so killing him was going to be quite hard. RNG thinking they found the moment where they can all in, but hey, you found the picks onto the 80 carry. We said Gwen would be the next thing you have to worry about. Now Suning out of nowhere have a Baron.
Yep, Suning have a Baron. RNG won the fight before, but Suning are like, let's elevate it another level. 5,000 gold lead, 23 minutes. Lyric, they have a solid 45 seconds as well. I'm so glad this game has pepped up because we were dragging along. It was slow, but no more. Suning with the Baron, the game overflowing, and we get to look at a pro view of Bin going snip, snip in a very cute fashion.
Yeah, gets the full stack Q off in the beginning. Already starts with his ultimate. Really nice by him just continuously stacking it up to 4 stacks before he looks for it. We've seen so many Gwens ignore it and just not get off that maximum damage. And then the last hit of the ultimate, just able to absolutely wipe everyone.
I know he's ahead. I know he's got 2 items, but well, Bin's now 7-1, guys, and that's going to happen. But even more so with the Zhonya's on the way. Angel's diving deep, well, rather just in deep territory. While Dragon's being picked up. Cloud Soul, Baron, and Suning have everything in the palm of their hands now.
Yeah, I mean, to where we thought RNG made the hero play, we thought RNG brought it back with Ming setting everything up. They actually just made the hero play for Suning. They gave themselves, the fans and all of us, false confidence of like, hey, look, RNG are going to bring this back. Things aren't too bad. They can not only win like in game 1 where they're ahead and it's dominant, they can come back from behind. Things are looking quite dire. You still have potential to try to find a follow-up play on Huanfeng like you did last time around because he doesn't have any summoner spells. But at this point, Bin did just pick up that Zhonya's Hourglass we were talking about, and it feels even more dire of being able to take out a full Suning team anytime soon, as Gala is just getting absolutely wrecked by all this poke coming out from Suning.
Yeah, I mean, it was Huanfeng's damage there that we didn't get to see. Way on a flank, spotted out by a pretty deep ward. He's just on the run. Meanwhile, Suning are just going to keep pushing mid. Their 2v2 is stronger at the moment, absolutely, unless Ming is able to find a god tier hook. Xiaohu's now joined in because no one wants to go near Bin, who has 3 items, and is taking down turrets like no tomorrow.
And this is really nice to see from Bin, because I feel like Bin has had a very, like, he's struggled a lot this split, but it's nice to see Suning build a composition that is literally like, hey, our 2 best players are going to carry us. The other 3 of us, it's just all about enabling them.
That's what they've done. 2-1, 7-1 respectively on those set carries. Suning approaching a game number 3 that's kind of just blown up out of nowhere after one single fight. RNG hoping for those angles you talked about with Cryan, with Xiaohu, Wei, but in a blink of an eye, an inhibitor goes down. Bin sitting up topside with Baron that's going to expire in 3 seconds, but that's a 4,500 Baron power play. You've done your job as Suning, and you've got a Cloud Soul as well. You've got an Elder in 4 minutes time. Everything coming up Millhouse to bring us to a 3rd game in the series.
Yeah, and I hope to see Suning, you know, get off their recalls, come back on the map, and look to like push their advantage, maybe push down in the bottom side or top, whichever one right now, because there's no objective that's close to spawning, right? So I'd love to see Suning try and look for an end before one of those neutrals come up. Sure, Suning should have the way of making sure that Wei can't get into a pit if he wants to. You should be able to choke out Vision in the enemy jungle and just zone them off. But it would be so sad if this game did come down to like a crazy 50-50 spite where Wei can find his way maybe into like an Elder Dragon pit and steal that one away. With how strong Suning are right now, you feel like they can definitely push their advantage further and look to siege down against RNG's base and maybe try to force a fight out while Bin split pushing in another lane.
Because he's going to be, again, uncontested here. Rod, needlessly large Rod, actually just picked up. Huanfeng, 3.5 items as well, by the way. He's just been pushing mid against Gala. Huanfeng has 310 CS at 27 minutes. Like, that is not do and be Rise hack worthy, but is pretty close.
Doing it exceptionally so far. He's a player that a lot of us have still rated quite highly, despite the poor performance coming out from Suning. It just feels one of those like circumstances. We also know On not one of the best supports in the league. But On this time around, give him the Tahm Kench. He did his job. He did have some very good devours in team fights. I just love seeing LPL players get the maximum value out of Tahm Kench before he will be different next patch. So
yeah,
you know, use him now, guys, because this will be the only chance you get.
And hey, heads up for anyone in the audience, because I know there's people there. We go to 11:13 on the 7th. So what is today? Today's the 4th. So 3 days time, LPL will be jumping onto 11:13. We'll confirm that next week as well for you. But yeah, looking forward to it. The change is going to be fun. Like, we waited a while to get onto 11-12, but okay, Suning just want to go forward. Ming back to the corner. Wei just getting hit by rockets. Look at the movement speed. Zap and Huanfeng ultis, golden in the nick of time. But they just want this to come to an end.
Yeah, and that's good. You know, let's see a dominant, decisive win come out from Suning. Then we get on to Game 3 for the absolute banger of the night, as I'm sure it will be a complete reverse of these 2 very dominant games from both teams. Just makes sense, right? Game 1, RNG kind of stomped. Game 2, these winning lanes drafted by Suning, this very strong and I'd say very hard for a dive composition like RNG's to deal with. Game 3, we're just going to get an absolute scrap. It's going to be like you're rewatching Fight Club.
Yeah. Except we won't talk about it at all. Look at Suning, just backing off. Baron's up. Elder's up in a minute. And they have their choice of the litter. But look at Xiaohu. Look at this deep flank. Trying to bring it back. Who's he going to go on to? Kick away! He's got him, but Tahm Kench flashed with him on, saving the day, but he should be dropping. Grey health comes up. They need to burn through him. Xiaohu's still alive. There's the Moonlight Vigil. The Moonfall as well. Has Xiaohu done it? Nah, Bin exists. Nah, it's over. It's over. I'm not even going to team fight this anymore. Bin's got it. Forget it. Pentakill, probably. It's Gwen. You're up, Lyric.
Yeah, okay. Well, Bin is chasing down Gala. Gala's getting away. Oh, no, he's not. Bin's going in. Autos are coming out into the snip. He's dead. And that was the extent of my call. And yeah, now I think this is just over for the side of RNG. It looked hopeful, but I mean, even if Jinx dies, it does not matter. Bin is actually the one who's incredibly strong on the side of Suning. You just have so much AoE, you could literally 1v5 the team fight. And yeah, Hysterics, it is actually over in a dominant Game 2 victory. Suning, bring us to Game 3.
That was Pog. Well done. Good finish, Lyric. I'll be the color caster, and I'll tell you one thing. A Bin was fed, and Huan Feng was fed, and Suning in that fight, they got fed off that. And then RNG, it props to Xiaohu in all seriousness. That was a cool flank. And that made it look close. But then Bin came in, and then it wasn't close. So there's your analysis. That was...
Right, so early on, you have winning lanes across the board for the side of Suning. I think the only one that is back and forth should be that bottom lane where if you don't find an all-in from that Tahm Kench at that like cheeky level 1 angle, Thresh and Aphelios should be able to win out, but Jinx should be able to neutralize a little bit with the Rockets. Point is, Suning have more lane pryos they can deal with. We saw the counter jungling coming out. We saw that they're able to utilize that to get neutral objectives for pretty much free. And then once you start getting into the skirmishes, it becomes very hard for RNG to ever fight in a front-to-back setup. Suning should just be able to out-sustain that with the amount of shields they have. They have longer range, so they'll be able to whittle down RNG first. And RNG's only hope is to find those sort of flanks and kicks that Xiaohu eventually did start finding. It feels like the problem is RNG realized that too late. They'd already fallen a few K gold behind. And then they go for that Baron play when RNG finally pull it off. But you're up against the Gwen. You're all in this little choke. You're all about half HP. And yeah, Bin just showed us why at some point we probably won't see this champion anymore.
Yeah,
but that is not today.
That is not today. Definitely isn't. We you know, had a bit of fun that game. And in all seriousness, like, we did see that one fight, and a couple of fights were exciting, but, you know, it was a slow, tempered game from Suning. It was just building up their lanes, the advantages, the push that came through. You're right, RNG felt like they realized a little bit too late what they needed to do to bring that game back. But I think for Suning, a structured game like that is a good look after what happened in Game 1 when View and SOFM, you know, entered the Rift at the same team at the same time. And it was just like, well, SOFM as a support, not really ideal. This time, On had a good laning phase. On had a good game. SOFM had a very good game on the Xin Zhao where he just controlled and got himself a jungle advantage.
It just makes you question why Suning went for it in the first place. Like, there must have been some scrim data to back it up, right? Maybe they were doing like decently well with viewing scrims, and that's why they wanted to try it out. But they come in, they don't get gapped in the bot lane this time around. They're actually able to be the ones winning out in a lot of these individual laning phases. And I think they drafted pretty smart this time around. They built a comp that deals well with what RNG put together, and they brought us to a Game 3. The question is, can they do it again? Can RNG look back at what they drafted or their mistakes and be able to come out better? Because even though I think this was a dominant victory from Suning, let's be clear that there were opportunities for RNG to win.
Yeah.
When Suning... So, Suning kind of threw it away, but I don't exactly feel that way because RNG went out of their way to find the flank, right? They were the one who made the proactive movement to set up the lanes to find that lane state, but then they were the one to also give it up. So, yeah, for RNG, I think there were certain things that you did well this game, but ultimately back to the drawing board for them.
Back to the drawing board. We go to a Game 3. Let's hope we get some fun drafts coming through as well between RNG and Suning to pick up another win in LPL Summer right after this.